Double fez off. It's a double fez off. Where's your pal? Where's your pal gone? He's hiding.
What? Scare everything off.
Shouting. Why did you swear all the time?
God is in his holy temple. Earthly thoughts be silent now. God is in his holy temple. Earthly thoughts be silent now.
Dreaming Jaguars, DMT, consciousness, telepathy, and alien intelligence is the theme of today. So we were recently invited by Dr. David Luke of the University of Greenwich to partake in their field research on the effects of DMT and telepathy, and as to whether or not during the DMT experience telepathy can be recorded or observed. So we're not allowed to talk about the exact experience, we're not allowed to talk about the content of the experience.
The first rule of Telepathy Club.
Don't talk about
Telepathy Club.
So we were invited to do this study. We met David Luke off the back of our video with Dr Andrew Gallimore, and he sent an email to Dave Luke. We were going to one of his talks in Brighton, and Andrew kindly sent him an email to say he's met us via the video that we shot. You know, could he take a bit of time out to talk to us and so on and so forth, which was a great experience.
Yeah,
in the off.
It was an honour.
It was an honour. David's a legend.
And it was very nice of Andrew to put our name forward.
Very nice of Andrew.
So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Andrew. So we met David. David did his talk. It was really amazing talk. Guy's super clever, knows his stuff, and he's a pioneer in this field. So he asked us whether or not we would like to partake in this experiment, and the experiment consisted of Justin and I meeting at an undisclosed location, and David and Pascal. Pascal is David's PhD student at Greenwich University, who we've obviously shot a video with. Another great lad. You know, we've become friends. We're going to shoot another video with Pascal soon, and we're also going to be shooting a video with David Luke, which is going to be phenomenal. So, that said,
hopefully we'll be able to fully disclose exactly what happened.
Yeah, I think
when we do the Dave video.
Yeah, once they've released the data, then we will be able to talk about the content of the experience. But for now, this is where we're at. So Justin and I met at an undisclosed location. David and Pascal had a protocol that Justin and I had to go through before the actual experiment, which involved a series of questionnaires. Tired, mate?
Yeah, sorry.
About our mental well-being, our thoughts on death and the dying process, and some quite deep and sort of psychologically probing information from our part. What were our thoughts on suicide and where we sat with the afterlife and the paranormal and so on and so forth. So it was really interesting. We did 2 or 3 of those surveys, and then we got to meet David and Pascal. They sat down with us, talked us through what we would go through, and both went into the into the DMT state together simultaneously. Prior to going into the state, David and Pascal did like a ceremonial ritual type, which Justin and I, although we do prepare ourselves mentally before going in, we don't really do a ceremonial aspect of the
it was more spiritual, wasn't it?
Yeah, spiritual, yeah.
Bit of sage burning,
a bit of shamanic going on,
yeah,
which was cool.
There was some sort of shamanic stick, wasn't there?
Yeah, that David had picked up from the Wachuchu tribe.
Was it?
I think so, something like that.
You made that up?
Yeah, the Wachuchus. Went into the state. I came out first and was immediately taken by Pascal into a different room where I was interviewed about the experience, and where Justin then came round and he was interviewed by Dave. We both had to do drawings and record, verbally what the experience had shown us. And the results of that were very interesting indeed.
Well, it caught me unaware, for definite. I did as the resident skeptical, resident skeptic. I was definitely astounded by the results, even just what we figured out between ourselves. I mean, they ain't the true results, are they?
No, it'd be really interesting.
So they started. The basic facts of it are they're researching this stuff in different fields, not just for your mental health and stuff like that, but they're looking at, I suppose what we really want to talk about is the element of what it is and what it would mean.
Yeah, so it's being taken seriously, isn't it? It's like, I've been into this kind of thing for a long time, and it's always been fringe. It's always been...
No, I have. I've been into it much longer.
Yeah, Justin's been into it for ages. But it's always been fringe, and it's always been a bit taboo, and now you've got, universities around the world and academic institutions who are actually being funded to research this stuff, the telepathy, the sort of, the altruistic side of this endeavour seriously, and that can only go two ways. It's either going to completely poo-poo it and we can all move on with our lives, or it's going to create a situation where this stuff is becomes mainstream science, and if that's the case, then God knows where we'll go with.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? And if you look at it from that perspective, this isn't the first time scientists have studied this stuff and thought there might be something in it.
Yeah.
It's a revival of where we were 50 years ago, 50 years ago, when the war on drugs came in and the ban on all psychedelics came out, and no one was able to research it. Now there's a renewal of that understanding, but it's in a different... And I think what you're saying is science is taking a different look at it now, whereas we look back 50 years or 100 years ago and we kind of laugh at the guys there with their putrid dishes or whatever. The imaginary version of a scientist back then, and we kind of look down upon them, and that research that may have been done back there, that's out there, that's not taken seriously. And I think because of the shift now and the ability for people to research this stuff in the right way, science is now, and also the tools and stuff that we can use to record this stuff is slightly different as well. MRI scans, they didn't have them 100 years ago.
No.
And we were talking about that last night, the way the brain lights up or doesn't light up.
Yeah.
Or the beta waves that we can record, or the alpha waves. These things weren't done, maybe weren't easily done 50 years ago, but now we can scan the brain, record the frequency of the brain, record the electrical stimulus that's going on within it, all through MRI, all in the meantime, while someone's under the influence or not. You've got something to work with, whereas I don't think they did.
No.
Well, they definitely didn't 100 years ago. So we've got that. We've got something different now where science can take that forward in a different way and actually compound whether it's true or not, or what's going on, with scientific fact that cannot be denied.
Yeah.
And I suppose that's a big difference for us.
Yeah, massive.
So, if you took telepathy, can I right at this moment now, Paul, do we have a link is there a connection between us, and do we think about things at the same time? Well, you get synchronicity, don't you?
Yeah.
Where you might think something, or might be thinking of something, and somebody else might be thinking at the same time. Now, is that just synchronicity or a coincidence, or is that actually something that we as humans just pass off as something that's not really real?
Yeah, but I suppose
I think that's what we do at the moment.
So my thought on that would be that when you're in your waking consciousness, your 5 senses, waking consciousness, you are tuned into your environment, this environment, because you have to function in this environment, so your sight, your sound, your smell, your taste, your touch is all almost like a filter mechanism. So you have to, the brain has to filter out all of the noise to concentrate on those those factors, those sense factors, and that in itself would, in my opinion, because it's done subconsciously, you don't think, oh, I'm going to touch that, and I'm going to, you touch something, you taste something, you smell something, it's all done in milliseconds, and it's all done subconsciously. So subconsciously you filter out the rest of the noise and the rest of the information that is probably, in my opinion, there. And obviously Dr Andrew Gallimore's theory is that we are in a very small slice of a much larger information structure, and when DMT enters the brain, it gains access to this larger information structure, which is possibly on a quantum level, that is, and from quantum physics, everything is interconnected. So put the filters in place, right? You may pick up on someone looking at you from behind that you didn't know was there. You may pick up on the phone just about to ring, or you pick the phone up to ring. I'm going to ring Juzzy. Bang! All of a sudden you're ringing me while I'm just about to put your name in. Yeah?
And that happens to everyone all
over the world all the time. So that to me is like I said, your filter mechanisms are in place subconsciously. So and even when you think about the possibility of telepathy, you're still in that 5 senses situation, right? So then you take DMT. Let's take DMT into the equation. You smoke DMT, you go into this altered state of consciousness where your perception is completely shifted, your senses, your 5 senses are completely thrown out the window or mixed up, or whatever's going on in the brain at that time. The brain lights up in a completely different way, and listen to a really good interview with Blake Erickson on the DMT Experience podcast, which you should all have a listen to. Chris Timmerman is one of the leading scientists at Imperial College, and he did an interview with Blake, and what he was saying is that one of the main areas of study that they recognised was that in the DMT state, when you close your eyes in your daily life and you sit in a darkened room, your alpha waves, and hopefully I'll get this right and don't butcher it, your alpha waves will go up, because you've taken away the sensory information. Your alpha waves go up, and then as soon as you open your eyes and come back to waking consciousness, your alpha waves diminish and your beta waves accelerate. Now, when in the DMT state, you will take DMT and you will become comatose, and you will lay down in a trance-like state. But in your brain, the alpha waves that you would expect to then accelerate retreat, and the beta waves decline. The beta waves that would indicate that you're in a highly vibrant environment with lots and lots of information, which you are in the mind.
Sensory stimulation.
The beta waves then catapult through the roof. So it's kind of a conundrum where it's the opposite was observed, and that in itself, to me, says something that is quite important. That your brain, your mind has been reconfigured. Woof, you are then open to an enormous amount of information, which is part of this information structure, but you're just receiving a lot more of it. So, from a telepathy perspective, in that instance, if you're in that state and I'm in that state, right, there's a very good chance that we will meld at somewhere along the line, and perhaps further down the line with more research, we will find that this is a way to be able to
With the way you explained it, I'm thinking of these waves, these thought waves would just be flowing out.
Yeah.
Of my oneness.
Yeah, or the information from all of the surrounding solid physical environment. That information's waves meld with your waves, meld in dance of telepathy and DMT-ness. Yeah. Quality, wow. Though, it's quality.
I can't argue it because of what's happened. But, which we're not allowed to discuss.
No, not allowed to discuss it. So, let's talk about alien intelligence.
Well, no, what does it actually mean? What would it do for us to be telepathic? Because if you take the way, this is a strange thought for us.
I can respond to this, but you see, you need to be quick.
Elon Musk, neuroconnector. Within probably 20 years anyway, telepathy is going to be part of what we do because of the Wi-Fi networks that are already going to be within us.
Yeah.
Unless what happens is they go, right, we've got to do this, we've got to do that, and they start trying to get these neurological connections inside, and then all of a sudden the science from our end or the fringe end comes around and goes, no, you don't need that. You need to do is that.
Yeah.
And there's your Wi-Fi, natural Wi-Fi connection.
Yeah, I like it. So let me respond to your.
Just downloaded.
What would it do for us? So look at the past.
I'm telling you right now.
Look at the past and coming up to this, to where we are now.
I'm thinking of a word. If you can actually think of that word,
put it in the comments.
Put it in the comments.
Were you thinking of the word?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
All right, sound. That's good. I like that.
No one will ever get it though. 2 words. Sorry.
2 words. If you get it right,
free t-shirt.
Free t-shirt.
But you'd never know anyway, because I ain't told you what it is, so I could lie.
So, going back to your question, right? So, what would it do for us? Well, if you look at civilization, what has been the catalyst for technological civilization to advance to where it is? It's information. Yeah, it's how quickly you can receive information.
Yeah.
Right. So. We've come from, and I'm not a scientist or a historian, but let's go back to the old dial telephone,
yeah?
Analog telephone to where we are today. So that, the fact that the quicker we can give each other information and observe information, the faster we advance technologically and everything else, yeah? So if telepathy was part of the everyday norm, then that information system is going to just accelerate off exponentially into the future, right? And then, that transfer of ideas is going to be, rather than me having a hypothesis and through language trying to get my hypothesis over to you, you've got to then divulge that hypothesis, create a scientific experiment, so on and so forth. If we could just telepathically...
Get all your words wrong.
That transfer of information is going to be exponential, and I think we would
download.
Boom, done. Yeah.
Okay.
So where does the alien intelligence come? Where does the DMT entity intelligence come into it?
Wow, now there's one, isn't it? Because generally, when you stood in front of them and they're there,
you might have to speak up a little bit because
they don't generally. You're not watching a mouth movement, are you, of some weird snake?
No, it's telepathic.
Jester.
Telepathic.
There's some weird dancey type thing coming across.
Doing this. Right. So the alien intelligence, right, in the DMT state. You go into the DMT state, and if you're lucky enough, you will come across an entity or two. Yeah?
Yeah.
And I'm guessing where you are predetermined in your social your social conditioning from a child coming through, the likes of myself, who's always been into Ouija boards, the paranormal. My dad died when I was 15, I was searching for what happened to my dad, where's he gone, the loss of my father, all that, you know.
Shut up. Never stop going on about it.
Right? So I'm shaped to want to receive information.
Moulded.
Now, when I go into the DMT state, it's pretty much 90% of the time, if it's a breakthrough dose, maybe not 90% actually, maybe a little bit less than that, I will have an entity contact, and these entities can range from background, sort of animated entities that seem to be part of the background and part of the environment, that whether or not they are conscious or they are intelligent is, you know, I'm not 100% sure, but they seem to be there. But then as the deeper levels, the peak of the experience start to emulate through, or even sometimes bang, I'm just catapulted straight in front of an entity. But these entities come out of the background and become more intelligent and more, then they take on their own personalities, and they are quite seductive and beckoning you into the deeper states. And the more you follow into the deeper states, the more they become lifelike and solid to a certain extent, you know, geometric light beings, but still, and they have information for you. Now, as Andrew Gallimore would say, which I follow Andrew's work and think that he is probably the most on the money with his theories as to what this information structure is. It's an environment which is full of, teeming with intelligent life, multi-dimensional life, or multi-dimensional environment full of life, which is just an extension of this reality, but we're a tiny slice of a larger information structure. What they've got to say to us, what we can even learn from these ancient godlike entities, is anyone's guess. Yeah, but they are telepathic. That's an interesting fact.
That is, yeah, because it is always telepathic. You understand what they're saying without actually having to hear what they're saying.
Yeah, never spoken words. It's emotional, telepathic response.
So, what does that mean for humanity? I don't think it will speed up any. I don't think it will do anything like that.
What do you mean?
Speed up any transference of information. We've already got that speed anyway.
No.
What it will allow you is empathy. If you've got telepathy, and I can walk up to you, and before you even tell me, in your brain I'm reading there's something happened to you, and this is your emotional state right now. Which you kind of pick up with your senses anyway. Yeah. Visually, you're going to look a bit distressed. You can tell this stuff.
And to be fair, as
the whole lot comes on, then there's a wealth of care and concern and love that you can give to someone, because you're reading their despair right there and then.
Yeah, and I think the more.
But the thing about transferring information, it's like I could sit there and read a book on how to do something, but 90% of that information that I get goes into my brain and then becomes muddled and befuddled, and before you know it, a bit like you, Paul, I'm spouting facts which are half true, bit of me made it up, little bit of something I picked up out of there, and I put it all together, so what I'm saying is that information, I'm not, that information, the whole Matrix thing is what, you know, I've just downloaded fucking I know Kung Fu. Yeah, but I don't think you need something in the brain to be able to relocate it, like a computer processor, like the random access memory, like the memory. I'm not talking about you lot, but I know for myself, my brain, I'll get a fact in, and 3 days later, I won't know what that fact. I would have forgotten it, but I know there's something around that. Yeah,
but what you just said is, will it speed up humanity? What will it do for humanity? And you said it won't do a lot, right?
No, it won't do a lot for the technology side, or for information, or for knowledge. But I think
Well, so if it was proven, there's two facts here. There's two potential outcomes. If it was proven that telepathy was real, on the front page of the papers, telepathy proven it is real, right?
Yeah.
Then everybody that thought that it wasn't possible is all of a sudden going to go, actually it is possible, right?
Yeah.
Then that's going to change the course of people's perceptions of what that is.
All right.
That's and then the second thing is if it was proven that there is an alternate dimension full of life that is also telepathic, that's proven. I'm going into the future here a little bit, obviously. You don't think that that's going to change humanity?
Yeah, probably right. Yeah, but you were looking at a different angle. I was thinking about, or I was looking at a different angle. But yes, if you take that all into consideration, humanity, on the whole, by and large, will go, okay.
So there could be a God.
Shit is real.
Yeah, and what about God? Where does that put God?
Back.
On that note then, so let's wrap this up, mate. We've got a bit of news with regards to the channel.
Yeah.
Just spoken to David Luke. We are going to be doing a video with David Luke, which is going to be epic. We are also building a website as we speak. The website is starting, and then that will give people a base to visit, to see what we're up to catch up on videos if you haven't got, for whatever reason. And also we're going to start putting together some other aspects of this to try and enable us to do this, full time. But we'll see how it goes. But that's what we're going to be doing.
There you go.
There you go. See you in the next one.